And there's light. Hello, everybody. If it's a little hard to see, it's just kind of outside. It's gonna get ready to rain for us, and our one of our friends and brothers here, Jim's Landscape LLC #1, Commodore Productions, is here. Hello, sir. And I said to him, "Hello, Jim, and welcome. We'll be starting soon." And right now he's home cooking lunch, but drizzling rain outside. Yeah, so stay home. If it's drizzling, it's drizzling. And Jim's Landscape has released his check out the Breach 2 trailer video. His link is right there in the chat. Well, if you get a chance after this stream, check out his new trailer for Breach 2. Yeah, I told him same here somewhat, should rain sometime later for us. Okay, and welcome to the chat. Our friend Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU, and Doctor Who, also known as Matt G. the follower of the follower and head groupie of our wonderful Miss Anti-Derivative Jill. So hello, Matt. See you with all the hello. Alrighty, so welcome everyone. We're here again, another weekly webcam series, as we call it. Today is the next two episodes that we are reviewing for the most wonderful, to me, one of the best BBC sci-fi comedies of all time, Red Dwarf. And today we've got an intro to another character for the cast, the character of Kryten. And so, the first episode of season 2 of the next 6 episodes for this season is Kryten. And then after that, there is an episode called Better Than Life. This is going to be really good today. Hopefully. Hope so. So yes, so we have Matt G and Jim starting us off today. So thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you being here. Don't forget, as always, hit the like button if you like our video today. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Also, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have reached over 200, and we had a wonderful joint stream yesterday. Not only did we celebrate my 59th birthday on this earth, but we also celebrated 200 subscribers in our family community here at MikeySuzeFour. So that was so awesome. And then don't forget to hit the notification bell. You know that one I always say, ding, ding, ding. And when you hit that, you will be notified of any future uh, webcams just like this and live streams that we do on Friday evenings after we do the Waltons with Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Oh, and this Thursday also, I'm also a part of a stream. It's a watch party with our friends Raquel SSG 2211 and Moira Kitty. We will be watching and then review at the end Speed 2 Cruise Control, which featured Jason Patrick, who, came over from the Lost Boys. He took over because Keanu, I think, asked for a little too much money with the second speed, but it did bring back Sandra Bullock. And then also, the new villain, instead of Dennis Hopper, was played by Willem Dafoe. And it involves a big cruise ship. We'll figure that one out. All right, cool. So let's begin here with season 2, episode 1, Kryten. Ready? Now, this Kryten episode introduction came out on Tuesday, September 6th, 1988. And the plot was that the Red Dwarf crew intercepted a SOS distress call from the American space cruiser Nova 5 that had crashed on a moon. They find the only survivor is Kryten, an android butler, whose favorite TV show is Androids. You'll go first. Okay. Ed By, of course, directed. The writers were Rob Grant and Doug Naylor. Of course, the usual suspects. Chris Berry is Rimmer. Craig Charles is Lister. Danny John Jules is Cat. Norman Lovett, who's playing Holly, the hologram. And this is I believe, the only time or first couple times that David Ross plays Kryten, but we'll find that out. He's the actor that plays him. We'll find that out in trivia. But later on, I know that there's a gentleman named Robert Llewellyn that comes in and plays Kryten. So then the Esperanto woman was played by Joanna Hargreaves. Tony Slattery was a voice of Brooke, and there was a gentleman named Kevin Clinton. All right. All right then, let's go to the trivia. Okay, so after David Ross had played Crichton for a bit, he returned to the show in the fourth series episode White Hole in 1991 as the voice of Talkie Toaster. Now, the episode originally ended with Crichton being seen, leaving Red Dwarf on Lister's space bike and flying off into space. The ending was filmed, but the broadcast version ended with a freeze frame when Crichton revs up Lister's space bike engine. However, the full ending was reinstated for the remastered version. Now, Crichton returns in the Series 3 opener backwards in 1989, after apparently crashing Lister's space bike into an asteroid. Between Series 2 and 3, Lister rescues and rebuilds Kryten, and Kryten becomes a permanent main character thereafter. Now, in the credits of Androids, the producer and director is named Kylie Gwenlyn. This is a reference to Neighbors in 1985. That's well, a BBC series which had a cast member and singer, Kylie Minogue, and the head of comedy for the BBC, Gareth Gwenlyn. Now, initially, it had taken David Ross up to 8 hours to get into the full Crichton makeup. To make matters worse, Ross suffered from claustrophobia. Yeah, that didn't help. The episode also introduces the small ship to surface vessel Blue Midget. The creation of the transport vehicle was to enable the dwarfers to leave the ship and explore space, leading them to meet Crichton and party away Rimmer's death on a moon. The larger Starbug will be created for Series 3 and beyond, and it becomes a major part of the sixth and seventh seasons. This episode also sees Rimmer's first disastrous attempt at learning Esperanto. Now, Esperanto is an artificial international language that was fashionable in the 1980s. In the early series, much of Red Dwarf's internal signage was in both English and Esperanto. Kryten also wears a plastic butler costume with a bow tie in this episode, but this was dropped when the character returned in Series 3. Kryten's departure is not exactly clear in the episode as broadcast, with only the start of Series 3 indicating that he actually left Red Dwarf in a space bike. Up to this point in the series, there has been no indication that Lister's bike was capable of flying in space, and a scene showing Kryten actually leaving was cut from the final episode. This is also the first episode we can see Rimmer touching things, lying in his bunk not included, albeit only other holographic objects. This is the first episode where the characters leave the ship. And then Crichton's appearance was of a mechanical looking butler with an angular head. The head mask had provided the most problems to the makeup and effects team. Prosthetic foam, originally used for the mask, kept falling apart, and eventually a latex piece was introduced. Now, while waiting for the cat in the Blue Midget cockpit, Lister reads a Spot the Dog book with cardboard pages from the series of storybooks aimed at very young children by British author Eric Hill. This ties in with Rimmer's earlier comment. We're not talking about books where the main character is a dog called Ben, after Lister says he reads books. Final appearance of Lister's electric tricycle. It's a stripped down Sinclair C5, not to be confused with the space bike that he is polishing in the opening scene, which Kryten gets onto at the end. Now, Kryten is named for the character Kryten, Crichton, the butler from the play and film Admirable Kryten. When Kryten first contacts Red Dwarf. He claims that the male officers of the Nova 5 all died on impact. He then sends the medical details of the three surviving female crew members, who are actually skeletons too, but Kryten has convinced himself they are still alive. The medical cards are shown on screen, but go by very fast and so are easily missed. Their pictures reveal attractive women, and the information reveals their names as Anne Gill, Tracy Johns, and Jane Eyre. All three are mapping officers in their early to mid 20s. Okay. Now, before I begin a little bit further with trivia, there were some scenes that were cut from the episode. So I will get to those in just a moment. Let's see who else is here. Let's see. Okay, so we announced the Breach 2 trailer, which has dropped now for Jim's Landscape. Make sure you check that out. And then we saw Matt G come in. Hello. And then Jim says hello to Matt G. And we have our brother, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Hey, Gorilla, how you doing? And Jim said hi to Gorilla, and Gorilla says, hey, Jim. Awesome. Awesome. So we've got three people here today, and we got three likes. That is awesome. And of course, my wife, my beautiful Suzanne, is watching as well. So, all right, let's proceed. Let's continue. We've got scenes cut from the episode. Okay. Now, there's only three scenes that were cut, three full scenes. One is the full uncut credits to Crichton's favorite show, Androids, including the entire theme tune to the show. That's a mock up of the theme tune to the real world, long running Australian soap opera, Neighbours. The lyrics to the Androids theme song discusses how mechanicals can develop feelings, foreshadowing what does eventually occur with Crichton when he later becomes one of the boys. The full Android scene was trimmed for the broadcast episode for time. It is dealt with more extensively in the novelizations. Now, the cat performs a disastrous musical duet with Talkie Toaster, with the Scudders and the Disco on keyboard. Whilst the cat screeches and wails, Cat complains of Talkie Toaster's musical ineptitude and tone deafness, with Talkie Toaster saying that he doesn't understand cat music. This was cut for time. And then Crichton leaves Red Dwarf on the flying space bike. It causes an explosion of sparks as it rides out of the airlock. Excuse me. And is seen flying off into nebulae in space. This was cut for filming reasons. Now, Lister says it's been 3 million and 2 years since any of them have seen a woman, indicating it's been at least 2 years since Lister was revived from stasis. Androids is a spoof of the long-running Australian soap opera Neighbours from 1985, a big hit in Britain. In all releases of this episode, the Mick in McNugget is edited out of the dialogue. In the script, Lister suggests to Crichton that he calls Rimmer buttsuck. In the broadcast, as uh, ours whole. Yeah. In a deleted scene, the cat is shown singing a duet with Talkie Toaster. The idea that Cat sees himself as a great performer is also explored in Parallel Universe from 1988, where he watches himself on the Dream Recorder singing Tongue-Tied with the rest of the Dwarfers as backup dancers. The Androids theme song in Red Dwarf, Kryten, 1992 TV episode, was performed by Howard Goodall. He also did the theme song to Red Dwarf itself. Now, this is the first episode in which the passage of time since Lister was put into stasis begins to be bent a little. Crichton views weekly broadcasts of an apparent Earth-made soap opera called Androids, which Lister is familiar with, even though 3 million years into the future there should be no such broadcast, although these are probably recordings. It's also suggested that the Nova 5 crash occurred within the last few centuries, suggesting human life still existed relatively recently, contrary to statements made so far indicating Lister is the last human being alive. It's possible Crichton is watching androids on repeats, and Infinity welcomes careful drivers says he has them all on disc. Okay. And here are the two spoilers. Now, whenever I announce these spoilers, if anyone has not even seen this episode yet, you might want to look away or just put your hands over your ears for a couple seconds. Okay. So Rimmer telling Lister that his nickname at school was Ace is a strong foreshadowing of Rimmer, Lister, Cat, Kryten, and Holly meeting Ace Rimmer, Rimmer's likable alternate self from an alternate reality in the episode Dimension Jump from 1991. And the episode does not explain how it's possible for Rimmer to exist outside both Red Dwarf and Blue Midget, although, based on later episodes, we can assume it's because of his like B. Okay. Alrighty, so before we get to Goose, those were the two spoilers. So it's okay now. You can take your hands away from your ears. Okay. Doing an emergency fundraiser tonight for Zombie Mouse. Oh my gosh. Okay, Gorilla. Um, yeah, I'll be there. What time do you want to do that for Zombie? What time Central? Let me know in the chat, okay? Yeah, I'd love to be there for Zombie. I'm sorry to hear that something's happening to our friend Zombie Mouse. Zombie Mouse. It's like Danger Mouse. Pinfoot. Shush. Yeah. Around 8. Okay, sir. I will be there tonight. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, Gorilla. So 8 o'clock is time, 9 p.m. our time here in the East Coast. Okay. And that's the watch. Oh, the Fund Me. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, cool, sir. I'll be there tonight to represent. Thank you. And hey, there's a wave from LDG Free the Net. Hello, LDG. Good to see you, my friend and brother. Hope you can be there tonight for us, LDG, for Zombie Mouse's emergency fundraiser. Yeah, cool. And you too, Jim. And as you as well, Matt G. That would be great. Love for all of you to be there tonight. Okay, let's proceed now with the goofs from the episode. Okay, there's just a couple today, not a lot, but there's a couple of revealing mistakes. The first one is during the cleaning montage when Kryten is cleaning the floor. We see him drag along a bowl, though this bowl clearly has nothing in it. Then there's creases that appear on Kryten's forehead in several scenes, which it shouldn't. And Rimmer looks at the camera just before the shot completely fades out at the end of the scene where they discover the Nova 5 crew are skeletons. Now, there's a couple of miscellaneous ones. Now, series 1, 2, and 3 all suffer from a production error in which the picture has not been rendered properly in the 4:3 aspect ratio, making characters and objects appear narrower than they are. In this series, the few shots which do not have this problem are the few outside or off ship shots, such as the visit to the hotel and Stasis Leak episode, which suggests it was a filming error made at the time, with a different kind of camera being used for the outside location shots. Now, this error has remained unfixed for both the UK DVDs that were released in the 2000s, but for also the remastered episodes, which are available on streaming services like Amazon Prime, Tubi, also BritBox are some of those services that re-show Red Dwarf episodes. So it's very good. And then there's some parts of episodes, not full episodes, but some parts of episodes available on YouTube. So when Lister is wearing his foul smelling moon boots, it seems as though Rimmer can smell them due to his expression, and Lister telling him his eyes are watering, even though he denies it. As a hologram, Rimmer shouldn't be able to smell. Now, when Kryten delivers his rebelling speech at the end, Chris Barry Rimmer is struggling not to laugh. Okay. Then there's one audio visual which is unsynchronized. When Rimmer states that the skeletal remains of the Nova 5's crew have less meat on them than a chicken nugget, his lip movements don't match the words. It looks as though he originally said chicken McNugget, and the line was later overdubbed. And in a character error goof, Kryten says Lister showed him the film The Wild Ones, while he means The Wild One. So that's a minor goof there. Okay. Now sometimes if they have outside shots, uh, that they film in different scenes, that would be the filming and production. So if we have that sometimes, like I know that they're going to have that for backwards, yeah, we'll mention them. But in this episode, there are some crazy credits and some quotes. So we'll go through those, then the soundtrack, and then we'll see if the other thing is available. So in the crazy credits at the end, Tony Slattery's role in the credits is misspelled as the Android actor, although the soap opera he appears in is called Androids. Okay. And they left that in, apparently. All right, let's go to goofs, or quotes. Sorry. Okay. And we do have a bunch. So let's see if my voice can work on these quotes today. All right. So here's Holly, and he says, as the days go by, we face the increasing inevitability that we are alone in a godless, uninhabited, hostile, and meaningless universe. Still, you've got to laugh, haven't you? Mr. the Rimmer. Get out of town. Your nickname was never Ace, maybe Ace Hole. And then a dialogue between Kryten and Rimmer. Is anything the matter? Anything the matter? They're dead. Who's dead? They, indicating the surviving officers' great ship, are dead. They're all dead. My God, I was only away 2 minutes. They've been dead for centuries. No, yes. You a doctor? You've only got to look at them. They got less meat on them than a chicken McNugget. And then Holly and Lister. Hope they've got some odds and sods on board. We're short of a few supplies. Lister drinking tea. Like what? Cow's milk. Ran out of that yonks ago. Fresh and dehydrated. What kind of milk are we using now? Emergency backup supply. We're on the dog's milk. Dog's milk? Nothing wrong with dog's milk. Full of goodness, full of vitamins, full of marrowbone jelly. Lasts longer than any other milk, dog's milk. Why? No bugger will drink it. Plus, of course, the advantage of dog's milk is that when it goes off, it tastes exactly the same as when it's fresh. Listen. His name's Rima, or Snakehead, or Dinosaur Breath, or Molecule Mind, and on a special occasion, when you want to be like really mega polite to him, I mean really, really polite, in these exceptional circumstances, you can call him Arsehole. And Rimmer, Lister, and the cat have discovered that the female officers are dead and have been for 3 million years. Listen, girls, I don't know whether this is the time or the place to say this, but my mate Ace here is incredibly, incredibly brave. Speak off, dog food face. And he's got just tons and tons of girlfriends. I'm warning you this stuff. You are rebelling? Yes. What are you rebelling against? Great. What do you got? Dinosaur breath, molecule mind, snake for brains. Drop dead. Already have. Encore. And Lister says to Kryten, what have you done to the place? I've done a spot of tidying up. But where is everything? Where's my coffee cup? Coffee cup with the mold in it. I threw it away, sir. But I was breeding that mold. His name was Albert. I was trying to get him 2 foot high. Why, sir? Because it drives Rimmer nuts, and driving Rimmer nuts is what keeps me going. The Rimmer says, Holly, as the Esperantinos would say, bon volu ascendi la pordestum. La sa las shone estas rano en mi video. I think we all know what that means. Yeah, it means, could you send for the hall porter? There appears to be a frog in my bidet. Oh, and how many books have you read in your entire life? The same as Champion the Wonder Horse? Zero. I've read books. We're not talking books when the main character is a dog called Ben. Mister says, I went to art college. You? Yeah. Well, how'd you get into art college? The normal way you get into art college. The same old usual boring normal way you get in. I failed my exams and applied. They snapped me up. They had lectures like first thing in the afternoon. We're talking 12:30 every day. Who's together by then? You can still taste the toothpaste. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm so excited. All my six nipples are tingling. You'd never get a cat to be a servant. You ever see a cat return a steak? Hey, man, you threw the steak, you go and get it yourself. I'm busy. If you wanted the steak so bad, why'd you throw it away in the first place? And then Lister's trying to convince Kryten he doesn't have to serve anyone anymore. Well, that's easy for you to say, Mr. David. You're a human. Only jest. That was rumor. Lister says, your explanation for anything slightly peculiar is aliens, isn't it? You lose your keys, it's aliens. A picture falls off the wall, it's aliens. That time we used up a whole bog roll in a day. You thought that was aliens as well. Well, we didn't use it all, Lister. Who did? Rimmer. Aliens used our bog roll? Just 'cause they're aliens doesn't mean to say they don't have to visit the little boy's room. Only they probably do something weird and alien-esque, like it comes out of the top of their heads or something. Well, I wouldn't like to be stuck behind one in a cinema. And then Rimmer says, tell them we're coming aboard, by God. We'll rescue these fair blooms on mine, or my name's not Captain A.J. Rimmer, space adventurer. Thank you, Captain. Space adventurer? Well, what am I supposed to say? Fear not, I'm the bloke who used to clean the gunk out of the chicken soup machine. Actually, we know sod all about space travel, but if you got a block nozzle, we're your lads. That'll fill them with confidence, won't it? And finally, Rimmer says, it's always the same when we meet girls. Put me down and make myself look good. Like when? Well, remember those two little brunettes from supplies? I told them I worked in stores, and they were really interested and asked me exactly what I did there. I said you were a shelf. Exactly. And then I suggested a little trip to Titan Zoo, and you said, ooh, he's taking you home to meet his mom already. So they laughed. Yes, at me, at my expense. Oh, that's great. Okay. And let's see. Of course, like we said, the original Red Dwarf theme, written by Howard Goodall and performed by the wonderful Jenna Russell, who I believe, by the way, is still alive today. Okay. And of course, where Lister rides his tricycle, they did this out in Liverpool at a place called Albert Dock, which was Merseyside, England, there in the UK. So they did do one outside shot with his tricycle. Okay, very good. All right. So let's go back and get back here to Red Dwarf. Okay. Oh, wow. And it's picked up here in the chat. So let's welcome to the chat Miss Sci-Fi Mombi. Hello, Mombi. How are you? Howdy, Mikey. Also to Gorillas, Jim, and I know she's also said howdy to LDG. I'd say hi. I say hi to LDG, but he don't say hi back. Jim says. Gorilla says, "Hey, Mombi," and Matt says hello, and LDG says hi, Jim, and Jim says hi, Sci-Fi Mombi, and Lemon Pie. Hello, Lemon Pie, Sir Lemon. Good to see you. Myself and Suzanne both wave to you. Good day, sir. Jim says hi, Lemon Pie. Lemon Pie says hi, Jim. Jim says hello, and he says to LDG Free the Neck, get lube. And Sci-Fi Mommy says howdy, Lemon, and Lemon says Mombi and waves to her. And Mommy, how is Vic and everybody doing in the family? Everybody doing all right? Good to see you. Mommy says, I'm living the dream. Cool, cool. Alrighty. Well, let me go ahead and give you my first review after rewatching Kryten. Um, Most of the people in IMDb gave it an 8.0 out of 10, and I would say that's pretty accurate. So for me, probably a 4, exactly a 4 out of 5, a high B, maybe close to a B plus. David Ross did a pretty decent Crichton to start with, but later on, when Robert Llewellyn took over, it was even better. So I have to say that not dissing David Ross at all, but he did all right. But when you had Mr. Llewellyn come and do it, it was better, a lot better, and it was a lot more funny. Yes, it was. So yeah, so 4 out of 5 stars I gave it, and a straight B. So between a B and a B plus, pretty close. Yeah, more of a B though, straight up B. But it was very good. It was a very good episode, and we need some prayers and good vibes. Yes, well, we're gonna do a prayer at the very end there, Mom B. So we also have a prayer needed for your family, but also um, we still need prayers for our friends Jay and Nikki, also Jay and Renee. Prayers for my wife, who's going in to get her second cortisone shot next month because both her knees are shot. There's bone on bone, no ligaments. So, yes. And then we're also going to pray for Zombie Mass. So, yes, there's a lot of prayers coming up. Oh, and my brother Larry and his wife Diane. So, yes. And his mom, Char. Yeah, Charlene. Yeah. Charlene needs it too. So don't worry, we'll take care of everybody there at the very end today. All right, so let's continue with the second episode of our review, and this one is called Better Than Life. So we'll look at that one. And this is also from season 2, and it's episode 2 of the series. So now in this one, which premiered the following week, Tuesday, September 13th of 1988, this got an 8.4 out of 10. And it's a post-pod carrying a 3 million-year-old bag of mail arrives, and Rimmer becomes depressed when he learns his father is dead. The crew play an artificial game called Better Than Life, which makes the player's wishes come true, but Rimmer's brain begins to rebel. Okay, all right, so let's go to that. I do remember this episode. It was very, very good. Very well done. All right. So, of course, Ed by directing, Rob Grant and Doug Naylor writing, and the usual cast of characters, which now, let's see here. It should, yeah. Okay. So, the normal 4 guys, and then John Abineri plays Rimmer's dad. And I'm going to check something there on him. Okay. John Abineri uh, did pass away in the year 2000. He was age 72. He was nominated for 1 Primetime Emmy in Britain. He is known for playing um, different types of characters. Um, in the TV miniseries The Last of the Mohicans for 8 episodes back in 1971, he played Chingachgook. Chingachgook, I hope I said that right. In 1984 to 1986, he played 17 episodes of Herne the Hunter from the TV series Robin Hood. In The Godfather Part 3 that we just saw uh, with Gorilla, he played the role of Hamilton Banker in 1990. And then in a TV series back in 1955, that's really going back. It's called The Children of the New Forest. In 4 episodes, he plays a character named Oswald. And the last thing he acted in was The Window Bed, uh, the role of Jack. And he also did a voiceover for Sophie's World in the video game of Socrates back in 1997. So, a couple things that Mr. Abineri did. And While he was doing his national service, he ran 3 theaters helping to rehabilitate servicemen. And then he joined the Old Vic Theater School for acting training. And after completion, he accepted an invitation from Tyrone Guthrie to join the theater's company, which was headed by Donald Wolfen. And he's also been in King Lear, Tamburlaine, and then he went to the London's West End. So he was born in 1928, and like I said, he died in June of 2000 at the age of 72. So, yes, very popular actor there. Okay. So, as we know, excuse me. So, as we know, after Kryten went off in the space bike, so he's not in this episode, obviously. He'll come back later, though. Okay. Now, Norman Lovett, who was the voice of Holly the hologram, particularly enjoyed the fact that he was able to feed his lines from inside a production truck, while the rest of the cast had to suffer with the beach's cold weather, tide, and sand. Yes, some of these scenes were outdoors on the beach. And this episode features the only physical appearance of the often mentioned character Yvonne Magruder, although she does feature as a hologram in an earlier episode. And Rimmer's middle name for trivia buffs is revealed to be Judas. So it's Arnold Judas Rimmer. Now, this was the very first episode to feature scenes shot on location. The beach scenes were shot on Ryle Beach in Wales during cold, cloudy weather. Craig Charles and Danny John Jules kept shivering during the scene in which they were meant to be sunbathing on the beach. So the scene was rewritten to take place on a golf course. Director Ed By convinced the crew that sunshine could be added in post production, but this was not possible due to the show's small budget. Sunshine effects were eventually added in the remastered version. During filming, Craig Charles kept stalling the motorcycle he and Kat ride away on. So Charles is not the person riding the bike as it moves away from the camera. This episode is also a book called Better Than Life, written by Doug Naylor, which still features the game Better Than Life, but has a different plot with the same characters who do not interact until the end. It also features Kryten, who isn't the main character in the series yet till the third series. A series of smeg-ups from this episode shows Craig Charles clumsily and unsuccessfully trying to hit a golf ball. According to Robert Llewellyn on one of the smeg-ups VHS releases, in character and makeup as Kryten, Charles tried to bluff that he knew how to play golf before the scene was shot, when in reality he didn't. Now, the actress Debbie Ash, who played a real life impersonation of Marilyn Monroe, took many takes to deliver her one line, boop boop, boop boop, be doo. Fittingly, the real Marilyn Monroe was notorious for forgetting her lines. Surprisingly, given the subplot of Series 1, Lister's part of the fantasy does not appear to include Christine Kochanski. This is the first of several episodes in which the crew encounters replicas of famous historic figures. And the scene at the restaurant within the Better Than Life game marks the first time that the cat uses the name Rimmer rather than referring to him by one of his many insults, such as grease stain, goalpost head, alphabet head, etc. It's said that John Abineri only took 10 minutes to record his part. And the episode fills in some of the events on Earth around the time of the Red Dwarf accident. We learn, for example, that a lost page of the Bible, indicating it's a work of fiction, was recently discovered, that the Friday the 13th movie series was well past its 1000th installment, and there had been many remakes of Casablanca from 1942. Technologically speaking, aside from the advent of Better Than Life, we learn that paper letters are still in use, and that video recordings resemble triangle-shaped VHS tapes, although the recordings sent to Holly by the Gordon computer Appears to be on a compact disc or DVD. The Bernie Inn, that's Berni, was a chain of British steakhouses established in 1955. It was established by brothers Frank and Aldo Bernie, who modeled the chain on restaurants they had seen in America. This is the first episode to involve location shooting and get the cast away from the confines of spaceship interiors. As such, it is the first episode to feature major elements recorded without a live audience present. These scenes were later played in studio to record audience response. The cat goes on to learn more about golf, including not to throw the club, as evidenced by his prowess at a tabletop version of the game in Time Slides later on, which came out in 1989. It is later revealed that the man Rimmer thought was his father is not, in fact, his biological dad. In the episode The Beginning from 2012, Rimmer's social father admits this fact to his son in a video recording he prepared him to play only if he had become a success, feeling the truth would stifle his true abilities. This episode also marks the first appearance of the observation dome. Rimmer goes there, upset at hearing the news of his father's death, and Lister follows him for a talk. The observation dome was both a model exterior and a set interior created for this episode as a location for serious emotional talk. The subject of mail pods is revisited in the Series 3 episode The Last Day, 1989, reusing the original model shot, and again much later in the Series 10 episode Dear Dave, 2012, with Rimmer repeating almost the same exact male-related taunts as in this episode. And of course, the crew encounter a Marilyn Monroe lookalike again in the Series 4 episode Meltdown in 1991. Only that was played by actress Pauline Bailey. Now, Tony Hawks, who played the Better Than Life guide, is also in that episode as Caligula. Now, the episode is notable and unusual for having no deleted scenes on the Series 2 DVD. However, cut scenes from the episode can be seen in the Series 2 documentary It's Cold Outside, which is contained in the Body Snatcher collection. These include Lister and the cat on the beach in Paradise, actually shot on a freezing beach in Rhyl, Rhyl, in Wales, and show why the scene was cut since the actors are notably cold and shivering despite the palm trees. The very strong winds were also rather noticeable. This was reshot on a golf course in better weather for the broadcast episode, where Miranda, Kat's reverse mermaid girlfriend, turns up. On the deck chairs amongst the palm trees, Lister sings Lunar City 7, whilst Kat sings the fish song. Kat's girlfriend Marilyn Monroe turns up, and Kat begs her to let him keep his trousers on for 10 minutes. The Better Than Life guide turns up with a banana bomb for Lister. Holly turns up in the Holly robot, saying that it must be paradise since it's 11 a.m. and there isn't a single German beach towel anywhere. Lister tells Holly that he plays roof attack for the zero gravity football team, the London Jets, which is a position filled by his idol Jim Bexley Speed, and also on a weekend plays lead guitar as the fifth member of the Fab Five. Kat's choice of mermaid, which includes human legs and a fish's head rather than vice versa, is a reference to Rene Magritte's painting Collective Invention from 1934. Magritte's painting has been wryly described as the thinking man's mermaid. Now, Scott Fitzgerald, not to be confused with F. Scott Fitzgerald, is a Scottish singer and actor. In 1988, he represented the UK in the Eurovision Song Contest, where he finished second, which probably gave the writing team the idea to use his name in memorandum for Gordon Ship. The taxman addresses Rimmer as my old China. China is Cockney rhyming slang. China, which is plate, equals mate. The scene with Gordon was subject to a reshoot with a different actor for the remastered version before being dropped. However, this alternate Gordon shoot is also included in the Body Snatcher collection as a deleted scene. The episode has Rimmer learning his father died. In the end, he casually mentions his father's suicide business, although it could have been an unsuccessful attempt. The Burnians were very popular restaurants with a large loyal following from the 1960s into the 1980s. The disparaging comment reflect the bias of the writers and do not necessarily reflect the opinion of the UK population. However, some people did not like the restaurants due to the anti-American. Derided comments about prawn cocktails and Black Forest gâteau are truly a comment of the time, not the restaurants. Pinky and Perky was a UK children's TV show that ran from the late 1950s into the 1970s. Pinky and Perky were puppets capable of very limited movements. This episode confirms that funky groovy Channel 27 do in fact have a hologram reading the news. And the Milton Bradley board game Game of Life was a strong influence behind the episode. And this is the first episode to delve into the twisted world of the Rimmer family, and the first episode that showed an expansion of his character. In Rimmer's letter, his mother refers to him as Rimmer and not Arnold. Rimmer also greets Napoleon in the game. Chris Berry was born in Hanover, England, which Napoleon occupied in 1803. Nappy sacks are sanitary plastic garbage bags for disposable diapers. And an epistle, epistle, in this case, is a letter. Alrighty. You'll get to the goofs in just a moment. Alrighty. I did not say that. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. So we'll get back here to Machi, who said hello. And LTG says hi, Jim. Jim says hi to Soft Valley Mombi. Lemon Pie, of course, says good day. Jim says hi, Lemon Pie. Hi, Jim from Lemon. Jim says LTG free the net, get lube. Sci Fi Mombi says howdy, Lemon Pie. Mombi is waved to by Lemon Pie. Sci Fi Mombi says I'm living the dream. And she did say we need some prayers and good vibes. We will do a good prayer at the end. I will let you know, Mommy. Jim says, yeah, lunch was good. And Gorilla says, what did Scott's what did Scott's Fitzgerald do, Mikey, for you to say fuck him? I did not, Gorilla, but hey, you said F Scott Fitzgerald, so I say fuck Scott Fitzgerald. F was for another name, not the four-letter F bomb. Oh, Gorilla. Well, we're gonna have fun with that tonight, aren't we? Yeah, lots of fun. Yeah, clip it. There we go. Yeah, I laughed at you. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the goofs then. All right, and we have a couple of continuity goofs, one factual error, and then there's a couple that were incorrectly regarded as goofs, and then we have a couple of revealing mistakes along with one anachronism. So, first off, to the continuity. Now, in the golf course scene, the giant knotted handkerchief on top of Holly's television monitor disappears in one shot and reappears in the next. When Rimmer pulls up in an old Morris Minor estate car with Magruder and their 7 children, it's a sunny day. But in the 2 shots of Lister asking Rimmer what happened and the cat asking, who are all those guys? It's dark. Then we have factual error, just one. Rimmer becomes an admiral in Better Than Life, yet the bizarre salutes he receives are based on the British armies. Now, a Royal Navy salute is much simpler due to the cramped space on board many ships. Now, a couple of the incorrectly regarded as goofs. Rimmer begins enjoying his game time at the beach appropriately without the H, since he is able to touch. However, shortly after rejoining his mates at the beach wall, his H reappears, despite the fact that Rimmer handles a bottle, touches his tax bill, and gets pounded before game over. This is incorrectly a goof due to the fact that Rimmer feels that nothing ever goes right for him. Thus, the H reappears on his head, as his low self esteem remanifests itself and alters his self image. He is still able to interact with the game world because it's still a computer simulation. Rimmer meets Napoleon Bonaparte, who he describes as his favorite fascist dictator. Napoleon lived almost a century before the invention of fascism. However, this is in character for Rimmer, who is not as smart as he thinks he is. Then there's a couple of revealing mistakes. When Rimmer is buried up to his neck in the sand, a close up shows the sand moving as he speaks, indicating that it's only a thin layer. When Lister, Craig Charles, says to the cat that Rimmer's dad's died, and the cat says, "Well, I prefer chicken," Charles starts the corpse and looks straight at the camera. The bottom of the wheels are cut off on the superimposed images of the Reliant Robin and Jaguar E-Type that appear on the beach. And finally, the anachronism. Walruses are not sea-bound mammals since they spend most of their life out of the water. Whales are an example of a sea-bound mammal. Okay. And of course, there is the one soundtrack, the Red Dwarf theme. We want to get to that right away. Okay. Got to get myself a drink here for a moment before I do the quotes. Yeah, it's F. Period Scott Fitzgerald, Gorilla. You know that. You read some English literature and stuff before then, I'm assuming. Love you, brother. He did an audio for myself, my beautiful wife, and our two cats, Moonpie and Deja Vu, yesterday for my 59th birthday. It was wonderful. Still love it, Gorilla. You're a wonderful man. If you let me, later tonight for Zombie Mouse's emergency fundraiser, I'll replay it for everyone. If you want me to. If not, that's fine. Oh, sorry, I have something caught in my eye. Give me a minute. All right, there we go. It's a little bit of a pimple, I think. It's okay. Alrighty. All right, let's get to the quotes. Let's see here. There are lots. So I'm gonna try to read through these as fast as I can. All right. So there's a newsreader that says, "Good evening. Here's the news on Friday, the 27th of Geldof. Archaeologists near Mount Sinai have discovered what is believed to be a missing page from the Bible. The page is presently being carbon dated in Bonn. If genuine, it belongs at the beginning of the Bible and is believed to read, 'To my darling Candy, all characters portrayed within this book are fictitious, and any resemblance to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.' The page has been universally condemned by church leaders." Then the cat comes in and he says, he's bursting in on Rimmer and Lister's heart to heart talk about their dead fathers. "Hey, there you are. Hey, man, I'm so hungry. I just had to eat." "Shh. Rimmer's dad died." "Well, I prefer chicken." Rear Admiral Lieutenant General Rimmer. Oh, that's from my mother. Rear Admiral? Yeah, every time I take an exam, I tell her I passed. It's getting embarrassing now. I should be Commander in Chief of the whole universe. Here's Holly. Loneliness weighs heavily on us all. Personally, the only thing that keeps me going is the thought that we are over 60 billion miles away from the nearest Bernie Inn. And then it's Holly, Lister, and Rimmer talking here. "What's happening, dudes?" "Hi, Paul." "Guess what?" "What?" "Go on, have a guess." "What is it vaguely about?" "No clues, just have a guess." "Ah, I knew you wouldn't get it. The post pods arrived." What? The mail? It's been tracking us since we left Earth. Now we've turned round. It's caught up. Do you mean it's taken 3 million years? Yeah, just about average for second class post. Lister, reading the letter. Dear Rimmer, is this from your mum? That's Mumsy. Okay, here's the big dialogue that Lister says. Lister, I remember when my dad died, you know? I was only 6. I got loads of presents off everyone like it was Christmas. I remember wishing a couple more people would die so I could complete my Lego set. My grandma tried to explain, you know. She said he'd gone away and he wasn't coming back. So I wanted to know where, like, you know. She said he was very happy and he'd gone to the same place as my goldfish. So I thought they'd flushed him down the bog. I thought he was just round the U Bend, you know. I used to stuff food down, you know, and magazines and that for him to read. They took me to a child psychologist in the end because they found me with my head down the bowl, reading him the football results. And then when Rimmer meets Napoleon, excuse me, you're probably really busy, but could I just say you are my all-time favorite fascist dictator? I've read all your war diaries, and your Italian campaign was brilliant. And then Rimmer's feeling melancholy after discovering a letter telling him about his father's death. You must have been pretty close. Close? Sorry, very close. Close? I hated him. I detested his fat, stupid guts. The pop-eyed, balding git. About your father. If it's any help, he's in the ground now. Sure, it's bad news for him. But on the other hand, it's party time for all those little worms. Relax. It doesn't matter now. Not gonna catch you now, are they? What? Just because we're 3 million years into deep space and the human species is extinct, that means nothing to these people. They'll find us. And then Rimmer's tried to cook for the crew. Rimmer, real dumplings, proper dumplings, when they're properly cooked to perfection. Proper dumplings should not bounce. True, but after the way I thought they were going to turn out, they were quite superb. So how's the cat? Oh, he's just sleeping out the stomach pump. He'll be all right. The lamb was a bit of a flop, though. The lamb? Everyone thought the lamb was the cheese. And that lemon meringue pie, man. What was in that? Thought you liked that. You bought some back? Yeah, I wanted to try some out on my athlete's foot. And this is why he hated his dad, Rimmer. He always wanted to join the Space Corps, be an officer, but they wouldn't take him because he was an inch below regulation height. 1 inch. I had 3 brothers. When we were young, he bought a traction machine so that he could stretch us. By the time my brother Frank was 11, he was 6'5". Every morning he'd measure us. If we hadn't grown, back on the rack. And everyone says, look, Casablanca. They've remade Casablanca. Philistines. I mean, how can you remake Casablanca? The one starring Myra Binglebat and Peter Beardsley was definitive. Yeah, I saw that one. Knockout. Of all the space bars and all the worlds, you had to rematerialize in mine. What's happening, dudes? We're having a real nice time. I'm dating Marilyn Monroe, and also I have another girlfriend who's a mermaid. She's half woman, half fish. It's Miranda, my girlfriend. When she comes out of the water, we see that the top half of her is a fish, the bottom is a woman. Somehow, I'd imagined she'd be a woman on top and a fish on the bottom. No, that's the stupid way around. Marilyn says, hi, sugar. How's about a little bit of ooby dooby doo? Well, how's about a little bit of ooby dooby doo? Reverend Dad says, I just wanted to say you're a total snakehead. What? That isn't my fantasy? No, it's mine. He's grinning. And then in the game, Better Than Life, Lister and Cat see Rimmer pulling up in an old Morris Minor estate car with Yvonne Magruder. It's hard to pronounce her name. And 7 young, unruly children. Rimmer, what happened to you? Lister, this a great game. Lister, I couldn't be happier. Who are all those guys? It's Magruder. She got pregnant. So this morning, she made me marry her, and this afternoon we had 7 kids. Liz, There's the E-Type. It was too impractical with all the kids and everything. Remember, you fantasize that you have 7 kids and a mortgage? Help. Oh no, where are the nappy sacks? His H has returned to his forehead and it becomes unshaven dirty. My brain's rebelled. It just won't accept nice things happening to me. It just keeps fantasizing horribleness. And I remember about his father. He says, he had this fixation that we all had to get into the Space Corps. At meal times, he'd ask us questions on astronavigation. If we got them wrong, no food. God, Rimmer, how did you cope with that? I didn't. I nearly died of malnutrition. Ah, Rimmer says, Yanorama City. We know an admiral. Come on. And that was the quotes. Okay. So last but not least, let's see here. Okay. So as mentioned previously, Rhyl, Rhyl again, just want to spell that one more time, in Denbighshire, Wales, in the UK was the beach scene. And then the hotel was the Sasha's Hotel on Tibbs Street, Piccadilly, Manchester, in Greater Manchester, England, UK. Cool. That's awesome. Okay. So, let's see. Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube. Welcome, Connie. Hey, everyone. Hi, Mikey. And Jim says, hey, Connie Cleary. And Sci-Fi Mommy says, howdy, Connie Cleary. Connie Cleary says, hey to Jim's Landscape. And also howdy to Sci-Fi Mommy and hi, Gorilla. Good to see you, Connie. Lemon Pie is here too. So both of you guys are here today. Okay. So before we go into the prayer for everyone, I want to mention again that Gorilla has uh, said that we do have an emergency fundraiser for Miss Zombie Mouse tonight around 8 o'clock his time central, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That would, I believe, 7 o'clock Mountain Time and 6 p.m. there in the West Coast for PvP and Resolute Journal. So try to be there tonight for Gorilla. His link is in there in the chat. Also, say some prayers for Sci-Fi Mommy's son Vic and the rest of the family. They have some trying times going on. Also, please say some prayers for my friend Larry over in California, along with his wife uh, Diane and Larry's mom Char, also known as Charlene. She's in the hospital. She had a terrible spill, and she's really suffering right now. Sir Lemon has posted Gorilla's Random Thoughts channel. Thank you, Lemon, for doing that. That's right there. And Connie also says howdy to Lemon. And Lemon says hello to Connie. Those are two of our best moderators that help us on this channel, along with all the other folks here that are moderators too. So please say hello to them. Please support their channels. That would be most needed. And yesterday we did surpass 200 subs. Yay! So we are at 202 subs. And of course, the next goal will be 250 and onward. So please keep subscribing, hit the like, share it, and also don't forget the notification bell. Okay. And of course, let's go ahead and say Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Lord, for the wonderful thing we use as social media. Today, there are some special prayers for friends in our community family. For one, we do have Sci-Fi Mommy and her family we need prayers for. Send your angels, Lord, along with the Holy Trinity combination, which is the best in all of the universe. The Father, His Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, Trinity made one, and also all of their patron saints, as well as the Blessed Virgin Mary. We also pray for my friend Larry, his mother, and for his wife Diane. We pray for my friend Jay, who is over in Michigania, along with his wonderful girlfriend Nikki. And then also, I need a prayer for both our brother Jay over in Louisiana, as well as his girlfriend Renee, for their continued success together. And finally, I need some prayers for my beloved wife, Suzanne. Next month, she's going in for another cortisone shot, and this time on her other knee because both her knees are shot. So we need all the prayers possible for that. So please, prayers up for everyone. And before I end here, let's say an Our Father. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And let's go ahead and do it a Hail Mary real quick. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen and amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Okay. And of course, pray tonight for Zombie Mouse as we do her emergency fundraiser. Amen from Lemon Pie. Thank you. Thank you. And lots of prayers up from Miss Sci-Fi Mombi. Thank you, Mombi. Prayers are very, very widely accepted here all the time. So make sure you represent everybody's channels today and later on this evening. And of course, from here on, uh, always go there. Make sure that they're subbed, right? And that you have subbed them yourself. Check that every couple of weeks. That usually helps because sometimes YouTube has this uncanny way of taking off a few subs here and there, whether that's due to thank you, mommy, amen, thank you. Whether that's due to little glitches, things like that that happen. So yeah, don't do it every day. Just every couple weeks. Just kind of check it. Make sure that you got all your subs in place. That's the best thing to say. All right, so tomorrow we'll let you know what's going to be on the docket for um the next series we do, which is the Secrets of ISIS. So let me go ahead and give you the 2 episode titles for that tomorrow. Alrighty. And let's see. I think should be done already with all of the episodes from season 1. Yes. Yeah, we did Scuba Duba and Dreams of Flight last week. Okay. So, um, season 2, episodes 1 and 2. The first one is called The Seeing Eye Horse, and the second one is called The Hitchhiker. So, Seeing Eye Horse and The Hitchhiker planned for tomorrow afternoon. Same Mikey time, same Mikey channel with Suzanne at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So, come and join us and stay tuned. All right. So, that's for tomorrow. All right, everyone. So, on behalf of myself, my beautiful wife Suzanne, and both of our kitty cats, Deja Vu and Moon Pie, we want to thank you all for being here today, for staying on live here with us on the webcam, doing the next 2 episodes, starting series 2 here of, like I said, one of the best British series ever, Red Dwarf. And tell your friends, like I said, please share, subscribe if you can. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you, Sci-Fi Mombi. And Mombi, um, I should have done this for you. So here we go. All right. So Sci-Fi Mombi, you're now one of our standard moderators. I appreciate you being here. And Matt G, let me do that for you as well, sir. Okay. All right. So we got Matt G and Sci-Fi Mombi are now standard moderators to the MikeySuzeFour channel. Congratulations to both of you. Thank you for being a big part of our continuing family community and for subscribing and for supporting our channel through all the trials and tribulations that we've gone through since last year, since last April. You've all been wonderful, and we appreciate your patronage. So, Finally, on behalf of that nerd, the one I grew up seeing on Siskel and Ebert at the movies, Mr. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Sun-Times, not only a great movie critic, but also a philanthropist and a wonderful charitable contributor as well to many causes, including muscular dystrophy. Um, Thank you so much. And now, as he says, the aisle's closed, and we will see all of you tomorrow afternoon. Again, like I said, with two episodes of ISIS at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon in the Central Time Zone. And until then, as you know, I always finish everything with peace. Take care, everyone. We'll see you soon.